If you are a holder of the PlayStation credit card, got some bad news for you. They are discontinuing its Sony rewards program, which is the ecosystem used to redeem your credit card rewards for the PlayStation credit card. I also think you could be part of the Sony rewards program without the credit card, but that was like the main thing for the store brand PlayStation card, is that you buy games on PlayStation, you earn like 3x points or whatever it is, and then you get 2x points for dining. I mean, I have the details, probably not 100% accurate, but that's the general gist of how that card works. It's really best for people who are PlayStation gamers and spend a lot of money on the PlayStation Store, because that's where most of your points and cashback come from. And it also offered a standard sign-up bonus where if you spend like $500 on the PlayStation Store within, I think it was 60 days or 90 days, you got a $100 credit on your account. So if you're like a huge PlayStation spender, the card was probably a decent option for you, even though there were actually non-PlayStation branded credit cards that offered you more rewards for spending on PlayStation, like the US Bank Cash Plus, which gave you 5% on PlayStation purchases. It was really like online internet purchases or whatever, but PlayStation counted towards that. So even if you're a hardcore PlayStation guy, there were actually other cards that gave you more value. So they sent out an email to all card holders and members of Sony Rewards saying that you have until December 31st, 2024 in order to redeem your rewards points. So if you don't redeem them and spend them by then, they're all forfeit and will disappear forever, unable to ever be used again. And I clicked on the page to sign up for the PlayStation Rewards card, and sure enough, it is a dead link now, and you no longer can apply. So yeah, I would definitely recommend a couple of cards if you're affected by this. The US Bank Cash Plus, which I previously mentioned, you could get up to 5% back on PlayStation purchases, and also the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card, which gives you 3% cash back on all online shopping. I currently use that card right now to get 3% back on all Steam purchases. So it works for Steam, Xbox. It's pretty much a good catch-all if you spent a lot of money for online shopping, which includes digital goods. So Microsoft may not be winning the console war, but I guess they won the credit card war. They launched the Xbox MasterCard earlier this year, which is also a pretty underwhelming card that even a lot of Xbox people don't really have any interest in it, even people who spend a lot of money on the Xbox Store, because they just don't see it as a good enough value. Like, they offer you 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate if you sign up for the card, but only if you're a new Game Pass Ultimate member, which, obviously, if you are going to get the Xbox MasterCard, you're not a new customer, you're already a pre-existing one, so you get no credits when it comes to Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass. And the rewards are like pretty decent. It gives you 5% back on all purchases from the Microsoft Store, 3% back on services like Netflix, Disney Plus, 3% back on dining, which specifically includes Grubhub and DoorDash. So I guess it's like it kind of plays into the gamer stereotype that all they do is sit inside, play video games, and order food because they don't want to go out anywhere, which I find funny. But the catch is that all this cash back is only redeemable for future Xbox Store, Microsoft Store purchases. So if you have like $20, $50 of cash back, you can't redeem that for a statement credit. You can't, cash it into your bank account like you can with a lot of other cards. You can only use it towards Xbox-specific purchases, which very much limits your cashback potential and what you can do with that card. And what's even stranger about that card specifically is that it's not integrated into the Microsoft reward system like the PlayStation card was for Sony rewards. So if you have Microsoft rewards, which is typically earned by doing searches on Bing and completing surveys and questionnaires and all that sort of thing, you also earn Microsoft rewards points by purchasing something on the Microsoft Store or Xbox Store. But for the credit card rewards, it's a separate redemption system, a separate ecosystem that you can't integrate with your pre-existing Microsoft rewards points. So me, for example, I have like 60,000 Microsoft rewards points exclusively just doing searches on Bing, because I switched from Google to Bing, not for the rewards necessarily, because I actually genuinely think Bing is a better search engine than Google, like hands down. So I was going to use it anyway, but I'm just earning free points for it, which I typically use to get Game Pass for free. Like, I'd say like 9 months out of the year, not even paying for Game Pass Ultimate with this reward system, which is amazing. But yeah, it's weird that it's separate and it's not like it should just like common sense would tell you that it should earn you Microsoft rewards points using that Xbox MasterCard. I think that within a few years, that card's going to close also. Store credit cards usually don't last that long. There's very few exceptions, like the Amazon Prime Visa from Chase that gets you 5% back. And there's a couple of them that are, have been around for years. But usually these things fail pretty hard. Mainly because if you buy a store credit card, the type of consumer that gets those cards are very high spenders, but they're also more likely to carry a balance and get into debt and pretty much default on their credit card payments. Because just imagine like a kid or whatever, like someone that's 18, 19, 20 years old that's a PlayStation gamer, and they see this PlayStation credit card. They sign the fuck up for that, even though they don't really necessarily are best prepared to handle a credit card. But they get approved for it, and they they max it out, and that's what happens a lot of the time with these cards. Which they like it when you carry a balance because you pay interest, but if you're not able to make those payments, not even the minimum payment, which happens a lot of the time, then they are losing all that money, and they can try to take you to collections and try to get the money back, but a lot of the time the money's already lost for these credit card companies, and it ends up costing them big time. And also, the way that they don't make money, they make a lot of money off of swipe fees, right? But if you're only spending money on that card for store-specific purchases and not everything else that you spend on, then they're also not making a whole lot of money there either. There's an example recently called the Built MasterCard by Wells Fargo, which is the only credit card that gives you rewards points off of rent payments. But the problem is people are only using it for rent payments, and they're not making money off of that, but they're using it to attract the customer to the card so that they can spend it on everything else, maybe carry a balance, pay a little bit of interest. Like, that's how these rewards cards make money. It seems confusing at first. Like, how are these cards able to offer 3% cash back, 5% cash back? Like, it's insane. Like, how are they even making money? They're making money by people pretty much going into debt, because that's a lot of the people who end up getting these cards. But for store cards, it's even higher, and defaulting on payments is way higher for these cards than a standard cashback card. And if nothing else, these cards sucked because of the banks that were issuing them. The Xbox MasterCard issued by Barclays, which isn't horrible, but they're really not that great when it comes to customer service and everything. And the PlayStation card was issued by Comenity Bank, which is one of the worst banks ever. But overall, credit cards can be a great thing if you pay your balance in full every month, never carry a balance, never pay any interest, and pretty much treat the credit card like a debit card. Know how much money you have in your bank account and don't go over it, because I know so many people that, especially with FOMO, with Instagram and every, social media, where everyone's traveling, people are, pressured, but they don't have the money in their account to really do that, so they max out their credit cards, and they're able to, spend all these, go on all these trips and buy all these things that they can't afford otherwise, and it ends up fucking over so many people. There's trillions of dollars in credit card debt right now, consumer debt, and it's insane. It's out of control. And I was afraid for a long time. I didn't get my first credit card until I was 25 years old because I was afraid of ending up in debt like everyone else. But spending it responsibly, using it responsibly, you actually get some cash back out of the deal. I have 5 credit cards right now, and I'm not having any problems with them at all. I'm paying it off and taking care of business, not doing stupid shit. That's really the key there. But there are a lot of people that don't do that, and they're very irresponsible with it, and it causes so many problems. But let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are about the PlayStation credit card shutting down, especially if you are a current card holder. Usually what they do is that they transfer it over to something else. With these store-branded cards, it's a lot. It really doesn't happen as often, so your account may just be closed. I mean, the full details haven't been released yet as to what's going to happen to current card members. Hopefully they offer a product change to a different card from Comenity, so you at least maintain that account and you don't have a closed account on your credit score, because that does drop your score and affect your shit. So hopefully it all works out for people who did get the card. So yeah, until next time, thank you all for watching.